All right, so I'm in the back of the motorhome here. This is the 8.3 Cummins ISC hanging out underneath the mattress of the motorhome, which is this guy here. So don't get all discombobulated with all this wiring. I just want you to focus on that voltage meter and this light. So I used this light earlier in another video, and it takes 2.4 amps. Okay, and I'm going to run a voltage drop test on a healthy circuit versus an unhealthy circuit. So if you look down here, this is the plug that goes into the Cummins ECM, and I have this yellow jumper wire right here, and that is on currently circuit number 5, which is hooked up to the ignition switch. And this is the one that I found to have 3/4 of a volt difference last time I was here. All right, so that pin right there, that guy is a hot lead. And then a healthy circuit, if you look down there, that is, it's the, in a motorhome you could connect the house batteries to the starting batteries if you need to jump. But right now the switch to the left there is the healthy battery circuit. Right now it's at 12.5 volts. So I was going to run a voltage drop test here. Let me put my headlamp back on. Now what's interesting is I'm going to first hook up my voltmeter to the unhealthy circuit versus the healthy circuit. So first I'm going to hook up here, like so. Now I said it was 3/4 of a volt difference before. Today, it's only 1/10 of a volt difference. So I was lucky to find it on that particular day, because I may have not even noticed this was a problem. And I would not have run a voltage load test if it was that high. So I just plain got lucky. Now, if I hook this guy up over here on the main battery lead, that's a healthy circuit, right? So there isn't much of a difference today. Let's see if I could do this without the headlamp. Maybe easier to look at. But this guy, you've seen this before in another video. This is a little test thing I use when I need to load up the circuit with a high amp draw or test alternator and stuff like that. Each one of these bulbs is 2.5 amps. Now, as you recall, the ignition circuit had a 5 amp fuse, and there's literally nothing else connected between that 5 amp fuse and the hookup at the ECM, which is what you're looking at right now down there. So I could easily put 2.5 amps on this and not burn any electronics or any components out. And this is how I test grounds and I test hot leads under load. And I'm going to do a healthy voltage drop test first, so you could see what a healthy voltage drop test. So I'm going to hook this guy up to the battery right here. Hook it up down there. Yeah, light goes on. Just get her hooked up. We got a light that's on now. Now we have a 2.5 amp load on that circuit, and we test the voltage at a ground point and at the hot lead, which is right there. And we've got 12.49. We were at 12.5 before. So there's like 0.02 volt drop in the line. It isn't much, but it is very minimal, but there is a slight difference, and that's to be expected. But it's almost identical to what it was before the voltage load was put on the circuit. Okay, so nothing's hooked up to the battery. There's no alternator charging it. So this light is slowly draining the battery. And that's what you're seeing right now. It's very normal, super healthy. So at 12.5 before, we're at 12.45 now. All right. Now, if I take that guy off and I put it on the circuit number 5, which is the ignition circuit, it's going to be hard to tell, and you can't go by visual. The light is a little different. Okay, it's a little dimmer, but I could barely tell in real life. But now, if I take that same I hook that guy up right there now, my voltmeter there, 11.3. That is definitely a defective circuit, and I'm load testing it with a 2.5 amp load. It should be at 12.45. So that is a screwed up circuit. Now, I don't know if the circuit is screwed up just at the pinpoint of the plug right there. I need to cut that harness anyways and create a new source for a healthy voltage so the computer's happy, so it will stop killing the motor. But I'm going to load test the wire and see, maybe it's just the pinpoint. I've already load tested at the 5 amp fuse right here. It's 40 feet away. It's a 40-foot run, and it passed the load test in the fuse box. Same exact test, but it's not passing here. So I don't know if the line has high resistance or the pinpoint, the plug down there, has. So I'm going to cut it, and that's the next part.